We also continue to track developing breaking news out of Nepal. The number of dead is rising after protesters tried to storm the country's parliamentary complex today. Police responded by firing tear gas and ammunition at protesters. People had gathered in the streets to demonstrate against a government crackdown on social media. The CBC's Mark Carcassol joins us now in studio to bring us up to speed on how we got to this point.
Yeah, at this point, we are hearing, as of latest reports from Reuters, 19 people are dead, anywhere from 50 to 100 people injured. This protest slowly grew from thousands to tens of thousands of people. And from what we hear from reports on the ground, many of those in the streets, as you could see them lining the streets of Kathmandu, were young people, many of them in high school or college uniforms. Part of what they were there to protest is, yes, as Arti mentioned, a social media ban, but they say that this was a wider anti-government corruption protest, spurred on by pictures on TikTok of their politicians and their children living lavish lives in luxury condos, they say, while the general populace lives below the poverty line. They also say that there is no accountability for where their tax money goes. They pay their taxes and they claim they don't see anything for it. There's no accountability for the government there. So that's where this all stemmed from. But as crowds grew, there started to be some clashes with police, particularly around the parliament buildings. Officials say that they stormed the property, and while they did get onto the property, they did not get into the main building. They were driven out by police. But how they were driven out by police after storming the property, setting vehicles on fire, that is what is falling into question here. Yes, police were using water cannons and tear gas as protesters, as you can see, threw objects at them and stormed the gates. But eventually, according to reports on the ground, police became overwhelmed, and that's when they drew their guns and fired live ammunition at the crowd, leaving, as we mentioned, at least 19 people dead at this point. There were similar protests in other regions, not just Kathmandu, but from all reports, they didn't seem to get as violent as this. In the end, police instituted a curfew around the parliament building and protests were eventually dispersed. But protesters who spoke to reporters on the ground say that this is not the end of it.
The government does not care about us. They do not care if people die. They're killing little children, people in school uniforms with school ID cards. This government does not care about us. It's time for us to get on the streets, wear our masks, wear our helmets, and come down on the street and challenge the government.
They say they were spurred on by recent protests in Bangladesh and Sri Lanka, which successfully, essentially toppled governments. As far as the social media ban goes, this is where this comes into play. It all started last week. Social media platforms were given a week to comply with the Nepalese government. They wanted them to sort of sign on to their registry and control misuse. The Nepalese government is claiming that people with fake accounts are spreading propaganda, fake hate speech, fake news online. And so they wanted these social media platforms to comply. Many of them did not. Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, several others did not comply. And so they are now banned in Nepal. We know that TikTok apparently did comply. And so TikTok was not banned in Nepal. But that was just one symptom of what these young protesters say are many things that are wrong with their government. They say that their government has corruption and they will keep up this fight.
Okay, thank you for the latest on this. That is the CBC's Mark Carcassol reporting.